Good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. I'm Debra Morrison, your host, and you have joined us for the We Can Do It Women show. Remember, this is happening every single Thursday at 5 o'clock Eastern, and this is a movement. We Can Do It Women movement where women 60 and wiser step into the spotlight and make the rest of our lives the best of our lives. As I say, I'm your host, Debra Morrison, a wealth building expert and champion for extraordinary women just like you. For over 47 years, I've helped women secure their financial futures, and now I'm on a mission to ignite a revolution. Yes, I am. Showing the world that at 60, 70, and beyond, maybe some of us are a nickel slower, yet we're all just getting started. And today's We Can Do It Women expert interview features Denise Drinkwalter from Tavistock, Ontario, Canada. Denise, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's so great to be here, Deborah. I love your energy. I love your show. I love what you're doing. Keep doing it.
Thank you. Thank you. We hope to do just that. So I wanted to give our viewers and listeners some of the background of your story because you have a rich background and you've done a lot of volunteer work, and obviously you've taken lessons from your own life to now become what you're naming yourself. And I love the word because I love the word empowerment. A Canadian. Well, I don't think you say you're a Canadian on your business card. You're an empowerment life coach, and you specialize in supporting women, especially moms. We have a number of moms and grandmoms here through the transitions and challenges of midlife. And you're
Yeah.
drawing on over 30 years of experience as an educator. And I saw that school principal. Holy camoly, I don't know how you did that. And your own personal journey into helping clients unlock their potential, unlock the lives that they are about or wishing or hoping or maybe was dusty, and you're undusting it and absolutely empowering them to redesign and live their lives and embrace fulfillment as they age. And you have a quote that says, why we need authentic self-expression, not aging gracefully. Because the truth is, we are getting older and it's not a problem to be fixed, but a natural, powerful stage of life where we can become our most authentic selves. How do you address that, Denise? Share it with us.
Well, oh my gosh, so many things are flying in my brain right now about where to start because every entry point is different for everyone. However, you mentioned is about aging. If we think about it, we age since the day we are born. It's the reality, right? And so let's not fear that. Let's come at that with an incredible lens of curiosity. And when we flipped that script, instead of that fear, but getting curious about what's next, who am I? Because I don't know about you, but I know about me. When you were sharing my intro, you said, I don't know how you did it. A principal, a mom of three, wife, doing all the things, volunteer work. I did it all. I immersed myself in the world outside of me. And in so doing, many a time lost who I was as Denise, the person. And so that's what I do is I help women uncover, it's still there, but uncover the you-ness that lives deep inside. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. The Eunice. Oh, that is so good. Of course, then my mind, I was raised on a farm. My mind goes punning off to female sheep and so forth and so on. But it's all good. So you have raised three kids. How old are they now?
Um, Here we go. We are 35, 32, and 30.
Excellent, excellent. Well, so I'm gonna just pop a little virtual through the cloud to your kids. She remembered your age, kids. It's good.
I love it.
So, talk to us about having done some volunteer work with this firm, a Canadian nonprofit organization, uh, Katimuk. I'm still mispronouncing it.
That's okay.
Katimavik. And
So,
how
Katima,
did you get involved in it? And boy, it just sounds rich. Talk to us.
it was really an incredible experience. It was through our government, and it was a nationwide Your name was pretty much drawn out of a hat, generally. And so I was 17 at the time, and I had applied for college, hadn't made it in. And so the timing was perfect, I believe. Didn't understand, but now believe so much in the power of the universe. So this is what started unfolding. And it was 9 months, and I went 3 months in three different places in Canada. And we went as a group of people. They put us together. There were 11 that started in our group, there were nine that finished. Basically, you were housed and fed, but you learned about the community that you were living in, and you gave back to that community every day. And you learned people stayed in the house and looked after the housework, all that good stuff, caring for the food and shopping and everything every week. So it was just an enriching experience, and living with people you have no idea who they are. And you did that for 9 months. And there were a lot of things that happened over those 9 months. And it was incredible. And I think that was probably the beginning of my journey to volunteering, because that fire was lit deep within my soul. And what I found was then when I got into the work world, I was volunteering. I volunteered for local, international, national Council for Exceptional Children. So it was still tied to my work piece, but I was giving back to that organization for years. And then my husband and I did a lot of volunteering as our children grew up too. So giving back is who I am. Absolutely. I love to give back. And it just helps me connect with people at a different level and understand how everybody is so different. And yet, like I said at the beginning, we all have a connection, even though we are all different. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I mean, as I was reading this program, it's amazing. Like, we had something like this in the United States during the Bill Clinton presidency and so forth, where we had a real push for students to go and do like Peace Corps or something like that.
Yeah.
And so as I'm reading about this program, you have 5 months in one location and another community for another what 4 or 5 months,
Yeah.
and there's across the indigenous
Yeah.
community and all kinds of differences. So this had to be completely empowering to open a kid's 17-year-old's eyes from whatever background that
Yeah.
they were born into. So I was really, enriched with just reading about it. So I hope that our friends, and we have a number of Canadians in our group, will take advantage or recommend this program to
Yeah.
their youth, because wow, what an enriching program. So let's fast forward. So when did you have your first kid? Because you're not that old, and you've got 35-year-old.
We had been married, let me think, 2 years.
Okay.
So we had our first daughter in 1990. Yeah. So, and now we have the beautiful relationship that we're building with our grandchildren of her and her husband, because they live 5, 10 minutes away.
Oh,
So we do childcare in the summer and childcare when they're before school. So I've had the privilege of being in their world 5 days a week since each of them have been one and beyond. So what a privilege it's been. But it's crazy, Deborah, how fast they're growing. Our oldest is 8, and I was just the other day, 7 years I've spent with this little one who's not so little.
that's so little. Yeah, you have such great quotes, and I want to share a couple of them. You say it's never too late to become the fullest expression of ourselves. And it feels to me like you're always pushing the boundaries, right? And so talk to us about how even through raising your kids and now the grands, that you're reconnecting with different maybe facets of your authentic self, or you're growing into a whole new Denise. Talk to us about your personal evolution, and then how that
Yeah,
translates into this midlife coaching that you're doing.
absolutely. So it's an interesting story that's really opened my eyes when I was, I think it was 53, 54. I got this little brainwave that I was going to learn how to run. Now, if anybody knew me in high school, I couldn't even run around the track once without heaving, trying to catch my breath. So my husband was in cross country running in high school, and of course I wanted to be as close to him as I could as much as I could during the school day. So I chose to be the manager for the team. So I got to I know, right? Hand out the water bottles, hand
Oh
out the
yeah.
t-shirts, and
Yeah.
I got to go on the bus. But I decided, you know what? I need to do something for me, by me, because of me, not contingent on anybody else. And the first thing that came to my mind was running. I don't need a lot of equipment, running shoes, shorts, a t-shirt, I'm good to go. I was thinking I couldn't do it, but I decided you don't know till you don't know. So try it, girlfriend, right?
Love,
So I
love.
found a partner. I started to talk to people who were runners. What do you recommend? What don't you recommend? That's who I am. I'm a learner. I always want to try and find things out, right? You understand that, Deborah. You're very much the same,
Right now. Right now.
right? And
Yep.
so for me, in order to make this happen, I had to have a goal. So I signed up for a 10K race in Niagara Falls on the Canada side,
Yeah.
thinking, okay, I'm doing this. And sure enough, I did it. Well, the morning of the race, it's dark, so we're one of the first to go, not the half or the full. I was the 10, so I think it was 8 o'clock, 2.5 hour drive. And my daughter, I looked up and it was very weird. My daughter, son-in-law, and the little boy I was telling you about, who's now 8, he was in his little stroller, and they were coming up, and I kind of did one of these, like, this is out of place. Why are you here? It's dark and blah blah blah. And I'll never forget it. My son-in-law said, "We will always support and want to show our grandchildren what is possible. Nothing is ever impossible." Well, Deborah, I'm going to cry.
Of course, I'm
My grandson that was in the stroller at that time, he's 8 now. He's joining me in the Niagara Falls race this coming fall.
so good.
And my heart is just so full. And he's excited. I'm excited. We were out training today. It's just, I love it. And I couldn't, if I hadn't started that,
Right.
that wouldn't even happen.
Right. You're reaping the harvest of that seed sown 7, 8 years ago. I mean, congratulations.
Yes.
So I want everybody to hear the nugget that Denise just kind of just fell off her lips. The mantra that she lives by: for you, by you, because of you. Talk to us about this mantra. I love it.
It just came to me when I was doing some coaching in a group I used to be heavily involved with, and it just flew through me. And the audience went, "Oh, say that again. I love it." And I'm like, it is our time as women in this age and stage of life to stop doing everything for everybody else and take time to do it for you, by you, because of you. And it doesn't mean you're egocentric, because I know a lot of women step back and go, but then I'm guilt. That means that they don't get that part of me. And I say to them, here's my example. And 8 years later, without me trying to create anything, this just has flown the way it needed to fly. I didn't make anything occur. I just did this for me, by me, because of me. And the ripple effect is bigger than I could have ever imagined.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is such a rich story. So I have always been a proponent, and I have this heart-shaped mirror, and I have it right here on my desk, and it's a constant reminder. All right, so how about you? How about
Yeah.
me? I mean, it's like, I mean, I was raised Christian fundamentalist, and they were always like in Bible school, they had JOY, Jesus, others, yourself. And I got into college, and I thought that was so warped. Until you're filled up yourself to an overflowing, then we are to give from the saucer, if you don't mind me,
Yeah.
giving a little
No, yeah.
example. And so the aspect of turning the attention onto ourselves, and I always bring my little heart-shaped espresso cup out. Does everybody see this? I mean, very few
Yes.
of us even have sauces anymore. So anyway, so fill ourselves up, right? We pay attention to ourselves, because else, let me just take the most negative. else, someone else has to like stop their life and like caregive us. That is going to get old real fast, even if you're in love with them. It is. We want to be our own person, take and assume our own agency. That's my humble. So we fill ourselves up. And then we fill ourselves up so much so we can't hold it all. It goes into our saucer, and we look around us and we say, where can we give from our saucer? Yet until our cup is full, we won't be giving the full
No.
complement of what we're capable of. And we're also not going to be enjoying ourselves. So, wow, you set an example. And that's a real great example, Denise, of how, we can't control how other people respond or react. We lay it down, we do our thing, not knowing necessarily if anyone else is paying particular attention. And it's so curious how people come out of the
Yeah.
woodwork and latch on to something, some action, some word, some phrase, and then they advance it, and it ends up being this family thing, which you are enjoying right now. Oh, I'm so excited. Well, we have to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to come back and talk in the chat, in the group, when you've run this race in the fall. We want to hear.
We will let you know.
Excellent. So you talk about reconnecting with your authentic self. You talk about transforming midlife transitions, and especially for moms. I'm not a mom.
Yeah.
I have an imagination, but I'm not. And so there
Yeah.
is this entire realm that I can only empathize with and be supportive. And yet, talk to us about some of the hurdles that maybe you faced that one day and you think, how in the world, will I move forward or through this? Did you have any of those?
Absolutely. We did. We had it like every family, there's always tends to be something that goes south without really understanding or grasping the depth of it. And I mean, our son, love him to, we love all of our kids, but we had a real struggle with him in his high school years. Real struggle. He was struggling academically, and I would say mental health was really, it hit a low point, really bad. And boy, as a mom, that was just absolutely probably the hardest thing I've ever had to witness and watch. But with my training, thank heavens, I knew what to do and how to respond quickly and get the help immediately because he was suicidal. So he did end up being hospitalized and reviewed, and everything's fantastic. It all the pieces came together as they needed to, and he's a shining light in all of our lives. We are all on speed dial if he ever needs us, but it has not happened for years, which we're thrilled with.
Oh,
But there's so many layers in that that we didn't understand, and it's something that I had experience with through the school pieces. But
yes.
when it's in my own family unit, I was almost blinded to it. So that was a really tough time, but it made our family very strong in a variety of ways that, I wouldn't have expected, or I'm honored to be part of the family unit that we have because we're just so close to one another and yet not interfering, It's very powerful. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you were on the school board for over 16 years, and then you retired elementary school principal. So you clearly interfaced with a lot of kids, and then mid-grade kids as they were going
Yeah.
through things that kids go through. And now, of course, it's
Yeah.
and was before. So this kind of I'm kind of curious as to how you interweave building unshakable confidence, because you talk about that a lot. And this is very, very valuable for and essential for kids. I mean, you're
Yeah.
talking about reaching a mental health state where the thought of suicide is present. And so,
Yeah.
how can we bust through that and give ourselves and seed and reap the harvest of unshakable confidence?
Yeah. It's the thing that I think is imperative for us to understand is that you can ebb and flow in that in a variety of ways, and that's okay. Right? Depending on what it is that you're feeling not confident about, where is that stemming from? And is it through a comparison lens, Or is it through, it's not my forte? I'm not strong in this. This isn't what I do well. We can't do it all well. And we're okay with that. We need to be okay with that. The other piece that I think is really important is for our experience, I knew I was not the go to person to solve and support my son through that. My job was to get the right people in the right place at the right time.
That's right. Yeah. That's
And that was a confidence builder in and of its own right because it made me realize I'm not the one for this job. I'm too close. I can't do this. This isn't what I know. Even though I've been trained in all of that, I was too close to it. So I was able to step back and we found somebody who was perfect. Everything, universe again, did its thing. Thank you. And everything came together in a beautiful way. And that just knowing that allowed me to just breathe and just be in the moment and be sad when I needed to be sad.
Thank you.
Take my breaths when I needed to take my breaths. Get support. I asked people to cover for me in my school so I could go and do what I needed to do as a mom. And I didn't try to do it all. I had to look after me in that time of need. And that was really important too. So, really knowing who you are and knowing that it's okay that you need to get help for whatever it is you might be going through, and knowing you don't have to hold all the balls in the air all the time. Nobody wins that way. Yeah.
That's so profound. And not only do you not need to hold them up, it's not the most beneficial outcome for the person that's in the thick of it. And so, I mean, a silly example, which is completely inane compared to your life situation. I mean, a male partner can't, teach his girlfriend or his wife golf. It's just like, don't do that. But the fact that you had the knowledge, given the school background and your own intuition, that to get him the help that was so
Yeah.
critical, obviously changed and saved his life and your whole family. I mean, this is a
Mhm.
stress that if you've not been through it, whew, wow. I've genuflected people that have struggled through mental health difficulties because, at least in the United States, and I suspect in Canada, there's just this pall of ignorance around and stupidity, I might add, around mental health and the needs thereon.
Mhm.
So then you progress past age 45 and you bring out the podcast, the Thrive After 45 podcast. Oh my gosh, it is so rich. Talk to us about it.
I am so excited about this podcast. I have been doing a YouTube channel since 2022,
Okay.
and I had named it For You, By You, Because of You. And again, I love that mantra that I created. So what I ended up doing was there's not enough people watching the YouTube channel. And I know listeners listen, they don't have time to watch, right? So listening is valuable. So I thought, you know what? Why don't I just take this and make it into a podcast? I am lining people up into April now who want to be on the show. I know. I'm so honored. And the people that I'm getting are top notch. They are, and such a variety of people reaching out men, women, you name it, skill sets like crazy. And we just have great conversation like we are, and strategies, techniques, tips that my audience or needs. And sometimes they don't even know what they need, and that's okay too. But just dropping little seeds so people can ponder, think, contemplate, discover, right? That curiosity lens.
Oh, that
And then,
curiosity.
oh, right? So
Uh,
powerful.
well, two
Yeah.
things. One, I want to be put on that list because I'd like to be one of your guests next April.
Done.
We're going to do that. And then I picked in, I was like sampling some of the podcasts and talk to us about that more recent one about the woman with the sticky notes.
Oh my gosh, that dropped today. Karen. Oh, what a
Yep.
gem. What a gem.
Yeah.
She had quite a go. She had quite a go, and everything kind of unraveled for her um at a point in her life when it needed to. Same thing. The universe spoke, but it became so important because she had little children at the time. And what she was told growing up as a child imprinted and impacted her. And she talks about that in the show. A moment when she was 6 that she'll never forget. And then she had a new belief system through one comment from one person, right? Like a teacher, if you
Yeah.
can imagine, which I can. Um, and the joke was on her as a 6 year old. And then that imprinted, and then somebody else happened much later, but that just grew. And so that became her new belief system that she should just be quiet and she doesn't have any kind of power and all of the nonsense. So, all of us listening today can probably pinpoint the moment in time. I used to tell my kids in the classroom, I'd say, do you remember what you got on a test in grade 2 in math? And they're like, what, are you crazy? No. Do you remember when somebody said something that hurt your feelings? Yep.
Oh,
I remember,
yeah.
right? I remember where I was standing. I remember what I was doing. I remember, yep. They remember it, everything, right? And so, what happens with those little mini moments is we keep them ingrained and then we start to believe who we are. So, my job is to help you unpack and show you what is truly possible around what I see, because I am what I call a heart whisperer. I see, listen, but I can hear deeper than the normal person. I can really feel the energy. And so I think I was blessed with that when I got to start to work with kids with high emotional behavior disorder and their needs. I did that for about 10 or 11 years and I loved it. And those children taught me so much. And I learned the power of observation and energy. And so just being able to listen to stories, listen to people, ask the right question that taps into another level of, I never thought of it that way, right? Because we can always learn from every experience we have. So, yeah.
Oh, I want to hear more about this work with the kids. I'll just share a little tiny thing, which this ticked off.
Yeah.
Like I was volunteering for Special Olympics and the Winter Games because I lived pretty close to a little ski slope. So I did all the things in various years, the lead, the follow, the 101, everything. And when I got in there the first day, it was like, I think maybe the first year I volunteered, I was like all proud of myself. Like I'm a business person and I took 2 full days off of work to come and help these kids. Right. So the first race finishes and they announced the fifth place champion and athlete. And he gets up. Most of these children have Down syndrome, and he gets up and he's
Yep.
on the fifth box, and then he steps on the fourth one, and the third one, and the second one. He's right on the top, and I'm like Laura legalistic, like, oh my god, he's only in the fifth place. He's up on the top, and I'm starting to like chafe, like, oh my god. Then they announced the fourth place. He gets on the fifth place. He gets on the fourth place, third, second, first. He's up there with it. They got 5 guys and gals up on the top, all with their arms around. I'm bawling my eyes off. I'm like, oh,
Right.
I am not giving anything to these kids. They are giving me a lesson in what's important. And then, of course, the coach peeled them off. They took the photo, and life went on. And so,
Yeah.
isn't it so curious the lessons of people that are what was your moniker? You made an adjective to these children. Extra
Emotional behavioral
Yeah,
disorder.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that had like, more
Yep.
emotion, and
Yeah.
that's what I said, but it was really
Yes. Yes.
so
Yes. Yeah.
that had to have been rich. How
Oh,
are you in your teaching career? Or were you still like undergraduate and graduate? Are you still in college?
nope. Nope. I was full-fledged teacher. Yep. I didn't have my master's yet, but yeah, I didn't get that till much later in life, like 47.
Okay. Okay. No worries. No worries.
Yeah, I just wanted to continue to learn, but I kids taught me so much every day, and it was my job to stay attuned and open to that. Because I would have missed so much had I not had the connection that I used to have with kids. And it was an honor and a privilege, 31 years in that career, and I was blessed to be able to do what I got to do. And everything has just rolled since. I still do what I used to do with children, only I do it now with adults. I listen to understand. I offer, what can we do? What is it that you think you want? Why do you want that? Like all of the pieces of the puzzle. And we just work side by side and amazing things happen. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Same thing that happens when we have conversation in Thrive After 45. I just love it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I always say, there's a little Debbie in here. There's a little Denise in there. There's a little Judy in there. And let's talk to her.
Hmm.
What is it that she's been, tamped down? Like, give her a microphone. I want to play, you know.
Right?
Let's listen, right? Let's be in
Yeah.
touch. Let's remember our younger selves who were more innocent and more playful. And let's get less serious as we age because life isn't a dress
Yeah.
rehearsal.
It's interesting that you share that, Deborah, because one of the things that I do, I have an academy that I do this in deeper, but it's great to have the audience just kind of contemplate. Think about what you actually loved doing when you were about anywhere from 6 to 8 years
Yeah.
of age. What did you love to do? Like, think about when you were doing whatever it was. What did you do? Where were you? Were you with others? Were you by yourself? Like, come up with everything that you can think of. Visualize it, feel it in your body, all the good stuff. That is important because that's going to start connecting you back to who you are. That's what you were, who you were before limits started happening, right?
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
And the subconscious mind, the mind doesn't know the difference between the conscious and subconscious. So if society or something outside of ourselves says, you're not too good at that, don't do that again, and then we say, and then we kind of internalize that I'm not too good at that. When we're probably very good at it, we may not, but may have made a misstep. And I always like to say misstep because it connotes that we're still moving and we can pay right back on to our path. Now, talk to us. You have published, and it's available on Amazon, this a journal, which is amazing. I'd like you to hold it up. It's a for you, by you, because of you, a journal, and you take people right through this. You guide women and men through this empowered journal. Talk to us about how this has been a life changer for your students and for your coaching clients.
Yeah. It really helps you focus back on you. It helps you look at your week and your daily practice and what on your list of things to do is really for you, by you, because of you, not for everybody else. And that is such an interesting piece because people, well, oh my gosh, Denise, I don't have anything on that list that is actually for me. Bingo. What are we going to put on there? What are you going to prioritize? And we can make it as simple as you want. You sitting, having a cup of tea, uninterrupted for 5 minutes. Do it. That's your to do today. Go for it. Right. And it's so interesting how many of us have struggled to do that. Even just sitting, I don't feel like I'm doing enough if I just sit. Do you hear that? Like I hear that a lot. Oh, I can't. I can't do that. I've got this over there and this over there and this over there to do. Yeah.
Human
So,
doings.
yeah.
Human.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you were
Yeah.
an educator, 31 years, good grief. And you, well, I think good grief. I was 42 years in the financial. Yeah, I've been alive longer than, or teaching in practice longer than some of your coaching clients. But I love this. So I have more recently read, because I just came out with the second edition of my book, and I developed a journal this time, a reflections journal for my book.
Nice. Yeah.
I read about the cursive writing being essential or integral in tapping into, and I forget the exact portion of the brain, Denise, but the act of cursive writing, which isn't just penmanship, it's not bringing your writing instrument off the pad, for example. So just continuing and connect the letters to each other, and at the end of the word, fine. That triggers something in the portion of the brain that helps unlock and heal traumatic memories and traumatic injuries. Do you have feedback from people who do handwrite into their journals how therapeutic it is?
That's such a great question. And I find that I've had people ask, "Can you put it electronically?" And I have said, "No, I'm not going to do that." And that's why, because when we get on the electronic, all of a sudden our thoughts waver. A message comes in and we go off and check our messages and then we're lost. I
Yeah.
won't put it electronically. It's not going to happen. And it's interesting you say about cursive writing because when I was principal, I had teachers coming to me because we had a time in education here where cursive was no longer taught.
Mm.
And I had teachers saying, "I'm going to teach it." I said, "You go right ahead. I'm not stopping that." Right?
Right, right.
To me, it was a very valuable in multiple ways and multiple reasons why. Absolutely the flow, but in order to keep the concentration, I think is really powerful as well. So it's funny because our 8-year-old grandson is playing around with writing right now. Yeah, it's great to watch him. Yeah,
I
yeah,
bet. I bet.
yeah, yeah.
So give us a couple of real success stories. I'm sure you have a number of them, but some of the more memorable experiences where women in particular kind of were pretty defeated, self-defeated, and through coaching with you, they came into their fullness.
Yeah. Where do I start? Um, I have one story in particular that just lights my heart right up. I had a woman reach out. I really didn't know her. She hadn't been following me. I did a virtual workshop and she found me in the workshop. And then she was in another group that I actually had done some stuff in, and she went back in and looked at that. And next thing I know, she signed up for my 6-month program. And she still continues to connect with me today. She said, "I was totally defeated. I didn't think I could do anything. I thought my life was unraveled, and I didn't think I could do one foot in front of the other, but I didn't think I could ever just stop my anxiety. I didn't think that I would have power over that." And she said, "You helped me reconnect to that child piece in a way that I've never done before. And things, as we had our conversations when we did our meetings, she would, oh my gosh, something else came forward when I was thinking about this when I was little and this person, and things were unfolding and puzzle pieces were coming together for her. And she realized where her anxiety had started from, and then realized through our work together that she had the power and control to be able to resolve it and move past it. And she is loving life. She has anxiety, but it's not crippling. It's not keeping her stayed. She said, "I still use all the strategies. I still have my book. I still pull it out every once in a while." Yeah.
That's
And yeah, that's one of a few that I could share, but yeah. So I mean, that just lights me up. That's why I'm here, helping people come into their own and no longer playing the game of what people have made them feel who they really are.
right.
Yeah.
Right. So tease us with a few of your examples. So you have some exercises on breathing and self-care routines. Just drop a few that our people can latch onto and then maybe tap you for some more deets.
So one thing I think is really important is to become aware. So, as soon as you start that awareness, like I'm feeling anxious or I'm feeling worried or stressed out, feel that. And as soon as you, oh my gosh, I'm doing that, the question you need to write, and I have people write it on a sticky note and put it, the question you need to ask yourself in that moment is, how does this serve me? That's an interrupter. That will stop that thought pattern. That will give you that pause, that break to be able to step back from it and go, okay, what am I going to do about this? What are the strategies I've tried? What have I had a success with before instead of going down the slippery slope? right? That is a powerful one that people say, I have my stickies all over the house. And then once the pattern is developed, they don't need the stickies anymore. How does this serve me? Right? Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I didn't have my pen ready. Say it again. How does this?
How serve me? How does this serve me? Thinking about all the negative. How does this negative talk about who I am? And you can't do that. Whatever it is that's coming up for you, become aware of it and then interrupt it by asking yourself, how does this serve me? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm all for pattern interrupt, and it starts with our awareness, and the ability for people to start to develop and listen to their subconscious, because of course it has create clues to heighten our awareness. Like, oh, wait a minute, this is, I gotta pause, like in
Yeah.
you hit the pause button, but the pattern interrupt. I mean, I learned in neuro linguistic programming, and it's so powerful
Yeah.
to reset ourselves, right? And I think that when we center that question, how does this serve me, back to
Yeah.
ourselves, we get a sense. We know we could recite. We don't even have to talk about it. We just almost look at each other and say, yeah, all right, I did that for the hubs. I did that for the
Yeah.
wife. I did that for the kids. I did that for the church. I did that for the synagogue. I did that for the community. We've all done that. How does it serve me?
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, we drive our cars around or our vehicles around, whatever we're driving, and we end up going to the gas station, like maybe once a week, once every couple of weeks, because we
Yeah.
need new fuel to take us to a new destination. It might be the same one we went to, but we need new fuel. And when we get that infusion of new fuel, it to me has every possibility of being more expansive. And once we're asking ourselves this question, I don't know, I'm just spitballing here, but I'm telling you what,
Yeah.
amazing stuff to bring the focus back onto ourselves as women. Is everybody picking up what she's putting down? Denise is dropping some real good gems here, and her coaching guides people, women just like you, through some of these otherwise paralyzing portions of
Yeah.
their life, right?
Yeah.
Um,
And it's interesting, Deborah, because a lot of women know they're struggling, but just do it anyway. It's like, well, it's gotten me this far. It's no big deal. I'll just,
I can handle it.
and right. And what breaks my heart is that you're not living the fullest life that is waiting for you. And you're the only one that can make that happen. It's not about everybody else. It's for you, by you, because of you. And like you shared so beautifully in your heart espresso cup, yes, that idea of overflowing, my story of running and now my grandson, I didn't ever predict that was going to happen 7 years ago when I started running. I didn't have a goal of that at all. I was like, time to do a little something for me. And it started little and it's just been gradually growing. And what a beautiful gift. Nobody else can give that to me. You are your best gift giver. And don't be afraid. Play, have fun. My goodness, life's short. We don't know how long we have, so you might as well live it to the fullest.
And just my mind goes to the 8-year-old. What's his name?
Jedson,
Judson.
Jedson.
When Judson, says to his classmates, my grandma and I are running. They're like, your grandma's running with you? And so this is really, I mean, you're going to be the genesis of a whole brand new thing where grandkids and grandparents unite in things that are really fun and physical, because
Yeah,
there's a dopamine hit when we move, right? When we move, I don't need
yeah,
anybody to run like 83, thousand miles.
yeah,
Moving is a
yeah,
great start from sitting, being placid. And so that's my mind goes to, of course, I'm finance compounding. This whole
Yeah.
thing, Judson he's gonna brag to his friends. My grandma, and it doesn't matter what your time is. You guys are
Yeah.
gonna
No.
you're gonna be at the end. You're gonna be holding each other's arms. You're gonna be in the victory pose. I hope you get a ton of pictures. We want to see them. But this has ripple effects. And
Yeah.
that is the aspect of living a full life. There are people watching. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when we do not dare to expand our influence, our interests, and so forth, our hobbies, then we basically, invite a lot of mental dementia. I mean, it's certainly a lot of scientific proof about, the way perhaps for many of us to ward off dementia, Alzheimer's, is to engage our mind in something different. So if we've always been about math, do something artistic. If we've always been about
Yeah.
that. And so we're kind of teasing both sides or both aspects of our brain. I couldn't agree more with being expansive because, one, I don't really want to have women in this group and the women who hear this to if someone wrote a true obituary upon our deaths, I never want to read and have anybody read Debra Morrison died at age 69, buried at 83.
Yeah.
What a waste.
Yeah. Right. Oh,
Waste. So
yeah.
this is a
Yeah.
call, a clarion call for you to go out and tap into a coach and allow the coach to take the cover off and have you, you take your first steps into this new quote unquote foreign territory. You don't need to know all the steps. Just like Denise helped her son, she got the professionals. So pop
Yeah.
on to a session with Denise or another coach. Pop on to a
Yeah.
session and say, I'm not even sure what's possible. Can you help me?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Help me. I don't even know what I need help with, but something's not sitting right. And we know when it's not sitting right.
Yes, we do.
We know when there's a knot in our stomach and we can't figure it out. But we're just gonna no, don't just keep doing. Yeah, because there's so much more to you that is waiting to be tapped. Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
contagion when, so we want to look for women that are out there doing these new things because it's from those patterns and from that mindset and their sense of humor and their nimbleness and so forth. And they're laughing at themselves. This opens up a whole new world for us to be free. And
Yeah.
so I always say, if your existing group of friends is a little stifling, and that's what's caused you to not dare and not step into something that was unknown. Did I read someplace that what you really kind of admitted that the start of your uh, podcast, Thrive at 45, kind of got you out of your comfort zone? Was that true?
Um, I'm pretty comfortable chatting. So that worked pretty good for me. It was more the behind the scenes stuff that I'm not that's not here we go again. That's not my forte. So that isn't the stuff that I do. I do the connecting. I have interview before we go live on our show. Like I say, I'm booking into April, but Deborah, we're getting you in that booking schedule.
Do that.
And and then the people that I jive with and I love what she does the back end stuff and puts things together so I can put it out to the wide world, right?
Absolutely.
So I know my limitations, but I don't stick in my limitations and say I just can't do it. I figure out a way to make it happen when it is in my heart, my soul, my mind, my body telling me, you got to do this, girl. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and in full disclosure, Iris helps me be visible on the internet because I don't do that stuff either. And so
Yeah.
it's the tapping into everyone's unique ability and their genius, right? And so Iris is
Yes.
just like spot on with this stuff, this back office, the social media, the
Yeah.
trimming, but and it allows me to more focus on, hey, what are the insights? What are the where can we laugh? Because I
Yeah.
really like to laugh
Yeah.
and I like to have fun. And people are attracted to that, right? Who's really going to go and spend a whole lot of afternoons if, we're glum and, we haven't had
Yeah.
We haven't read a new book. We haven't read an article. I mean, I'm always about what's the latest book you're reading. I'm all about neuroplasticity. So
Yep.
talk to us. What's your latest book that's really jazzed you up, and what's on your bookshelf ready to read?
Well, I'll tell you. And this is really exciting. It's a book by Carolyn Elliott, Dr. Carolyn Elliott, PhD. It's called Existential Kink. It was an interesting title, and I'm like, what? And she talks about the shadow work, but instead of it being shadow work, there's something in it that we really enjoy. So, what is it about the stuff that we're trying to hide from that we really do like? And yeah, and and digging down and figuring that out and then saying, "Okay, so I like that." Well, be at peace with that and go, "Okay, once you do that, everything shifts." So interesting. Such an interesting read. Deborah, it's so interesting that I did this. You're not going to believe this.
Yeah.
I sent her a message. I reached out and I said, I have this show, Thrive After 45. And I thought, never going to hear, but oh, yes, she will be on my show.
Oh, that is so good.
So,
Well, now I have to tell my story, and people are very.
yes.
I'm in the financial business, and this was 25 years ago. And people are typically, especially women, a lot of fear around their money, right? And I read the
Yeah.
book
Yeah.
from Dr. Susan Jeffers, Feel the Fear, and Do It Anyway. And the first book I have is actually in another room. The binding is completely broken. There's dog ears. There's coloring, different colors of pen, post-it notes. I should really bring that up. And it was so profound. And I had it sitting on my desk for like 2 weeks. And I was just like, she's nailed this. She's nailed fear. It's so easy to comprehend. And then I like looked at I was like, what I would give to just have coffee with her. And then I started to laugh. Deborah, feel the fear and do it.
Yeah.
I'm phoning her, right? It's hysterical. And I expected to get like, a
Yep.
couple of people between me and her. And she's like, hello, Mrs. Susan. And I thought like, oh my God. And I mean, this was like 25 years ago. And I was like, oh,
Sure.
this is little Debbie from the farm with corn cobs coming out of her ears. And I'm in a financial. And I've read your book backwards and forwards and diagonally. And I think you're profound. And I wondered, could I have a coffee with you? And she says, yeah, let's get out our books. We set up a coffee the next Thursday, a week from that week. The next Thursday,
Yep.
I'm in New
Yep.
Jersey. She's in Santa Monica, California. She didn't know that. I didn't care. I get on a plane. I meet her for lunch. We have lunch. Lunch goes into early dinner. The restaurant had to kick us out because they don't serve dinner. She says, would you like to come across the street to see my office? And I'm like, I think I've died and gone to heaven. We hit it off like champs. And it was
Oh,
so
Deborah.
funny. And so she was my dear friend for, 10, 12 years, wrote inscriptions to me at every place. Deborah, the world needs what
Aw.
you're doing. And then she died of cancer, which was horrible. Yet she was such a change agent. And the profundity of me following,
Right?
do it, right? Oh my gosh. That is I still get chills
Yeah.
about the whole thing. And we wouldn't have had the friendship. See, we wouldn't have had that. I wouldn't be able to, bring out her teachings with things that I do, talk about the pain, power, continuum. I mean, it's profound.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
other people's insights.
Yeah. And because you went, you know what? This is going to be hard, but I'm doing it anyway. And look what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, I want our listeners to think about something in their past, just right now, just kind of bring it to the fore of your mind, something in the past that you didn't think you could do.
Mm-hmm.
And something somewhere somehow prompted you and gave you the extra push, the extra oomph, and you conquered you. And I have a whole, speaker in a summit series called Busting Barriers, Women Busting Barriers. I want us to think about something that we didn't think we could do. So what is it for you? I'm just spotting you, giving you a spot quick question. What is it for you that you just really, aside from running, didn't think you could do, but you did it?
Well, My master's in education.
Hello.
I master's in educational leadership, and I was like, I don't think I can do. There would have been no way I would have even attempted it
Interesting.
until I actually did. And even when I did, I was like, should I? I asked all my kids, should I, shouldn't I? The kids are like, Mom, what do you want to do? Like, we can't give you that answer. Like, I think I've talked to them well, right? It's like,
You
I can
did.
tell you that.
That's that's complete witness to your effectiveness, excuse me, as a mom. Amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I did it and I loved it and I learned so much. But I've had opportunity to learn not just the academia, but through so many connections and just, I think for me and I think for the audience, the more open we are, the more that will flow in terms of what's available for you. We stay constricted, we stay in what you say, that path, you don't go and fuel and take a different path or whatever, you're going to stay the same. And there's probably there will be amazing parts that you want to keep. Doesn't mean you're going to strip all of that to go and find something new. It means you're going to expand yourself and grow more as a result of going to play and try new things.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
if you don't like it, you step back
Yeah.
and goes a different direction. So it's like nobody died. You
Yeah.
attempted something and it just didn't float your boat so much. But how will you know unless you do it? But
Yeah.
so many women have tried, not even, I don't like to say that word connotes failure, have explored, and then they say,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this was amazing. I never imagined I could go this far with this hobby and this
Yeah.
movement or whatever. So what's next on your list? What's yet to be done in Denise's life?
Oh my gosh, there's a question and a half. My I have a big dream to make the Thrive After 45 a global phenomenon where people are constantly listening to, and it doesn't mean like I laughed because my daughter said, well, I can thrive before 45. I said, I didn't say that you couldn't.
That's so good. Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
So yeah, and just getting out and having opportunity to speak in real time with groups of people would be amazing. I'd love to start doing that. Yeah.
So good. Now you do one-on-one coaching. I know
Yep.
I've seen like a 3-month program, transformational group
Yep.
program. You do like that kind of thing still, 6 month, 3 month, 1 month, whatever.
Yep, I do one-on-one. I do have a 3 month and I do have a 6 month. The 6 month is a group program called the Me Academy, Midlife Empowerment Academy. So I love it. We've had such great reviews of that program. It takes people to the depth that we do over that 6 month period is so important. The 6 months is needed in order to actually access all the components deeply and richly. Yeah, we don't rush it. And everybody goes at their own pace. It's all great. And I have a new thing I've just opened up is a mentorship membership called Becoming Her.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, tell us how best we can be in touch with you, how we can reach you, et cetera, et cetera.
The best way to do it is just look up my name, Denise Drinkwalter. I have a website, so it's denisedrinkwalter.com. Everything is in there. You can find me on most of the social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, and my website. And you can access, I do send weekly newsletters out, but you can join that through the website. So yeah. And
And that's fast.
Thrive After 45. Listen to the podcast. Such a great show. I'm so honored to be hosting
Uh,
it.
that's
Yeah.
super. And we will put that in the show notes. Denise,
Thank
thank
you.
you so very much. This has been rich beyond words, and we are really blessed to have you with us and sharing all of your brilliance. We all thank you for joining us on today's We Can Do It Women show. And remember, I see you, I value you, and your greatest chapter is just beginning. If today's episode sparks something in you, I invite you to check out our Wealth and Wellness Luxury Retreat in the south of France, where we take things to a whole different level. Yes, we do. October 25th through November 1st. It's this type of digging into ourselves and getting into an ambiance in the south of France is a perfect backdrop for that, and an entree for you to become the next chapter of whoever it is you're becoming. And I will, of course, be teaching workshops every morning to absolutely have you leave France with 1 to 3 different types of investing, 2 of which are risk adjusted crypto investing, which I am getting expert on as we speak. And this tool called money will be something that you can multiply as you leave France, and we will have a massively fun time with the French cuisine and the French cheeses. And if you drink wine, the French sommeliers and the area wines and the area excursions, and the chateau in which we're staying is unbelievably exquisite. We can do it women.com/retreats. Join us, put your deposit down, and we will save a space for you. We have our own personal chef on premises, and he will make your own gluten-free or whatever your dietary issues are, not issues, whatever your preferences are. He'll make your own special meal every night. You don't get this everywhere. I want you to consider joining us, because there's going to be a real return on your investment with these workshops about financial know-how. I want you to take a money concern off of your front focus and have money fuel you to your next empowered chapter. And so until next time, I'm Debra Morrison, reminding you it's never too late to shine, and pay attention to this money. It will pay you back. Good day.